Alright guys, Kyle Chris here, bringing you guys another Dragon Whisper video. And today I want to talk about this list that I have, I feel like I've kind of petted into existence. Hopefully, going into the future, people will maybe play this deck a little bit. Maybe is going to be a Shroom Salsa deck. The idea of it is it's very similar and comparable to a deck like Universe 7 Gohan, which draws a ton of cards. It fits in that same vein, and I'll kind of explain why as we go into it. But I've optimized it as best as I could. There's a few cards that I am missing because I haven't gotten them yet, just from, mailing. But we'll talk about that as we go into it. So make sure you guys like and subscribe. Hit the bell for all notifications if you guys like the list. If you want a physical list of the decks, you guys can copy it. Just let me know. I can post a DBS planet list. So Shroom Salsa. This is a Demon God leader. Swing, you draw a card. It's pretty simple. And then auto once per turn, whenever this card is in battle, so whether it's offensively or defensively, if you combo with a black battle card, your opponent warps one battle card from their drop. They get to choose. But once they do that, the second part of the effect, after that, if there are no battle cards left in the drop area, you get to draw a card. Now, the reason why I say this is good right now is because black is in kind of a weird state right now. You have the Hatchiat control decks. You have the Rainbow Bardock, which I guess is considered a black deck. But a lot of mill, like Vigex stuff, isn't really going around right now. Even if it is, this deck is still getting value because you're going to be warping cards that they would have to use essentially for something else, right? So you're taking away their sparking condition, which most of the games never get to that point. But you can, mill out a lot of stuff that maybe they want to fuse with, and it makes it very, very difficult for them to do much. But also just allows you to draw extra cards. Now, you can awaken when your opponent has 4 or more cards in their warp, which is great because you don't have to awaken at 4 life. You can awaken at 8 if you want to, which you're restand 1, draw 1. And on this side, same effect. Same thing as U7 Gohan. The auto, you can combo with a black battle card on this side and draw a card or warp a card from your opponent's drop area, and then draw a card if there's no battle cards left. And then it has a 1 energy cost, or just a colorless. If your opponent has no battle cards in the drop, you can play out 1 Demon Realm Race, or Evil Wizard black energy cost that costs a specific cost of 2 or less. I think it's a less. Yeah, so less from your deck or your hand, and play it out. If you shuffle through your deck, you have to. If you look through your deck, you have to shuffle. This is very good. This allows you to play out key cards in particular situations, which can hinder your opponent from doing much to you offensively or defensively. So we'll go over the deck here. What we have first, we'll go over the 1-drops. First, we'll start with the Unison. So the Unison we chose was the Deborah Unison. I was bouncing back and forth between using the Deborah Unison and the Smoke Dragon. Collectively, they both are pretty good for the deck. However, Deborah is slightly better because Deborah can attack. This one you can uptick, downtick to draw a card and warp a battle card from the drop. It's cool, but it doesn't attack, and this is a terrible turn 1 play because your opponent's mainly just going to swing at this. And I mean, they can if they want to, but it just feels really weird swinging at this. So you run this one if you want to. I found that Deborah was just a little bit better. What Deborah does, the +0 is they warp a card from their battle area. I think you get to choose. Yeah, so this one you get to choose. Same thing with the black smoke. Whenever you combo with a black battle card, this card gains a marker and gains 5k for the turn, so offensively and defensively. The reason why this is good is because this card can pressure. We try to make this deck, we want everything to swing. We don't want to leave a card untapped if we can help it. So we want to be able to swing with our Unison. The Smoke Dragon is good for drawing, but this deck draws enough as it is, so being able to do that is very, very good. -4, which does come up every now and then. -4, you can choose 2 Demon God, Demon Realm Race with different names, 2 or less from your deck or your drop, and play them. No skills negated, no nothing, just normal play. This is really good because you can play out essentially your super combos, because we do run the Demon Realm super combos. You can play out a lot of other things you can play off of your leader effect too. So you're just getting more plays, which is really, really good. Alright, so 2 Time Disruptors. This is kind of a meta call. This can be always changed out, but I do like this because it is a play, draw 1, right? Also, this is a counter play. You can play it on your opponent's turn where they can't attack with 2 or less. So if you're playing against any sort of spammy, smaller deck, or a green-yellow deck that plays Piccolo Jr. When they slap down Piccolo Jr., you play this, draw a card, they can't attack with it. You can combo this off with your leader to then draw another card. A lot of times on offense, if I'm swinging first, if it's a deck that I know that can't kill me that next turn, I'll play this for 1, swing at leader, draw another card, combo with this, draw another card. So I just tapped 1 energy to draw 3 cards, and then give this 5k if I have it already on field. Obviously, turn 1 you win it, but you kind of get what I'm saying. Those cards also recyclable by Power Burst. Certain matchups where it's not really good, they're just not playing a lot of 2-drops, or it's a very, very control-heavy deck, I'll still play this to get the draw and then swing to get the extra draw. Just helps fill out your hand a lot more. The other 1-drop is going to be the other Supreme Kai. This is awesome because this is basically a pseudo super combo in the deck. So if you have 5 or less cards in hand, this becomes a 10k combo. But also when you combo with this card, since it's a black battle card, your opponent doesn't have any battle cards in the drop, you get to draw a card. So early game, this is a card in aggro matchups that you will mulligan for. Opponent swings at you with the double strike or a crit. You charge, you didn't do anything, so you have, this is your 5th card in hand. You combo with this, gains 5k. It's a 10k combo. You draw a card, so you're at 20k. Very, very powerful. And it's, also you can get it back with Power Burst as well. So very, very good. Unfortunately, they are gods, so you can't play them out off of this effect, off of the Debor effect. But like I said, we have Power Burst. 2 human extinction attacks. 15k power, can warp a battle card from the drop. Does come up very handily. If your opponent is running apes, running rebrands, you can use this to trigger particular cards. Also, you can fill up your drop for your overwhelm. Now we're going to get into the cards we can play off of our leader effect. So we have 2 chain attack gravies. When this card is removed from the field, you get the warp a battle card from your opponent's drop area. Pretty powerful. The 14k. When you combo on your turn with a Demon Realm race, and Evil Wizard. Yep. So basically all of the demons, when you combo with one, you get to draw an extra card. So if you combo with the super combo, which we have right here, obviously, this becomes a double super combo. So this is a Demon Realm race. Sparking 5, so you have to have 5 cards in your drop in order to get it to activate. It's not very hard to do, but you combo with this guy, draw a card at any life. If you have Demigra on board, not Demigra, Gravy, you get to draw an extra card, and then you can combo with him too. Not mentioning your leader effect, being able to warp a battle card from the drop. Then if you have a new battle card, you get the draw. So this essentially could be a draw 3 if you have this on board, which is very easy to get on board. You're never going to tap 2, you'll tap the 1, but just having the access to this is super, super good. Also, you can dig this out with your -1 because it is a Demon Realm race. So you can pull this out, and you can play it back out with your Deborah as well. So a lot of synergy in the deck. Toa, next card. This card from set 10. It's a very weird card because it wasn't really playable for a while. It's just a 2 cost, and it's not very good, but you can play it off as effect again. So this is a 2 cost. When this card is played, auto once per turn. When this card is played or attacked, you search top 5 for a Demon Realm or Demon Realm race, which searches out our entire deck, except for these cards, and obviously extra cards, which is very, very powerful. You can play this out off of this, draw a card, just sit there with it or swing with it. Next turn, then you swing with it, then you get an extra draw. Then you can combo with one something else and draw off your leader effect. Like there's a lot of things you can do with it, but we run 2 of those. Probably the most important 2-drop is going to be this gravy here. When you combo with this gravy, you put 2 cards back from your warp. Battle cards back from your warp to your drop area, which is good because then it fills up our drop area again for this after we overwhelm. Also, a demon can be played off of this, can be played off of this. Triggers your auto. Like I said, this is going to be an effect you're going to see throughout the entire rest of the deck. 1 of this gravy. This is kind of a tech. So it's a 15k. When you swing at this card, your opponent may choose a battle card on their drop. If they don't, he gains 15k for until the end of your opponent's turn. So it becomes a 30k. Again, we're playing off the leader ability, but if your opponent doesn't have a battle card, they basically can't choose. So then he gains 15k. So it becomes a 30k body for 1 energy. That's very, very powerful in a lot of decks. Could be used in a finisher. Could be used to swing into bigger battle cards. Maybe they have a 35k on board. This allows you to basically combo one of these basically for free. You combo this on top of it. Now you're at 45k. Most times they're not going to combo out of it. This is kind of my just my boss killer. It's going to just kind of force my opponent to use a negate on this because they're not going to want to deal with it. And then obviously the best 2-drop you can play is going to be Broken Seal. You call out any of your opponent's battle cards, they can't play them. This is very good in the blue matchups. Depending on if you know your opponent's holding up energy for Gohan or Vegeta, you can call that guy. More likely you're going to call Vegeta because Gohan's not very good. You can call Hachiak, call Xenocells, you can call 8-drop Goku. There's a lot of cards you can call, and it just forces your opponent to have to play around this, and generally will buy you a turn so you can kill him on the next turn. 2 counterplay Deborah. He is technically a 2-drop in your hand, so you can play him out with this effect. But he doesn't gain the auto effect, so you play this on your opponent's turn. The card, you can then choose one of your opponent's battle cards. They can't activate skills or attack for the duration of the turn. So they play Xenocell, they drop a card with Deflect. Play this, stops the card from being able to attack. This is my black killer, so whenever my opponent is playing Gogeta 8, you slam this down. If they don't Super Kamehameha it, then their Gogeta's screwed, and then next turn you can kill it. 2 drop area Majin Boos. This is one of the cards that I would put at 4. It is a super helpful card. Being able to pitch this card to the warp, draw a card. You pitch a card then and draw 2, and then you can use the gravy to end up pulling this card back at some point, which is also very good. To fill up the drop area more, we run 2 Hachiak. So this card you pitch to the drop and burst 2. So this is a burst 3 technically because you're pitching this card 2. And then you can cycle back cards from your drop area between 3 and 7 for 3 energy. Play him out, he's a 25k. When he swings at a battle card, he restands. So he could be a dual attacker. We're never really going to use it for that effect. It's just an option though. But we use this to fill the drop area for our next card, which is our big mid-game card, which is going to be Demigra. This card should be at 4 of. That is no questions asked. It should be at 4 of. I just didn't get my other 2 in time to play it for this weekend, but I will have them for next weekend. So we should know what this card does, but it's Dark Overrealm or Overrealm, 5 Overrealm, 2 energy cost. You play it, warp a battle card on board, draw a card, and now every time this card attacks, your opponent has to warp a card from their hand. This is kind of your, I would say, turn 2 play. In certain matchups, you can probably play it on turn 2, but this card is absolutely nuts. You play this at a 4 of, no questions asked. Other boss monster is going to be the Vegeta. So once you start getting cards in your opponent's drop area, from the drop area to the warp, now this guy becomes live. 2 energy cost, comes down, he's a 19k double strike barrier, unique, warp a battle card on board, or warp a card from your opponent's hand. You're more likely going to go for the hand. And then when this card's in rest mode, your opponent attacks your leader with the warp a card from their hand. So it gives you a little bit of defense there. But super good card. You pair these 2 together, your opponent's not going to have a fun time. 1 Trunks Overrealm double strike. You can pull back any card, battle card from your warp. You can pull back 1 battle card from your warp. You do this just in case you mill something very important off of your Majin Buu that you really need back. Or if you lose your Demigra too early and you can't find another one. Like I said, you should be running 4, so you should have access to most of them because we're drawing so much. But if you can't find him and maybe you burst all of them, or they get milled or whatever, you can use him to bring him back. Next turn, play Human Distinction attack. Mill 4, play this card that's 5. Next turn, Overrealm for that. 4 Power Burst, that's pretty normal for most black decks. But we use it to pull back our super combos or our Supreme Kai. Move some stuff over here real quick. 4 Supreme Kai negates. If you or your opponent has 3 or more cards in their warp, this card becomes a 1 cost. It's a 1 cost negate, warp a battle card for the turn, comes back at the end of the turn with its skills negated. Pretty good. It's pretty good. Not a bad card at all. So it just allows you to pop any big battle cards that they have on board. Or you can negate an attack and then warp something else, so it just takes away 2 attacks. It's a super good card. 1 Oceanus the Gate. This is another card that should be at 2 at the minimum. So optimized would be 2. I only have 1. I just never bought the other ones. But this is a Floodgate, so it's 2 energy. You pitch a card. They have to mill 4 cards every time they attack. It's okay. It's It's not as good as Poutine from Mechikabura, which is what I would play, but your leader has to be Mechikabura only, and yeah, that sucks. If you could play it, I would 100% be playing my full playset, but we can't. So we have Oceanus, some other overwhelms, some one-ofs. We have Brainwash and Fighting Against Fates, just some other overwhelm stuff that you can use in the deck. One of the big boss the other big words. The other big boss monster is gonna be the 6-drop Mask Saiyan. So he's 25k, triple strike, deflect. So blue really can't do anything with him. When he swings, you warp 2 battle cards from your opponent's drop area. Then if they have more than 10, he restands. So he's a 25k triple strike dual attack. If your opponent activates a counter skill during his window, your opponent has to warp a card from their life. Generally, this card will end you the game when you play it. Or they're just not going to negate, and now you can just forcefully just rip their hand apart by comboing all this stuff. So most of the games that I won, I comboed up to 100k very, very easily. This card makes it extremely easy to do that, especially when you have this guy on board. So you combo this, warp a card from their drop, no battle cards, draw here, draw off leader, draw here, draw here. It's 4 cards. That's a lot. You have these for 15k. You have all your other stuff that you can combo with. Then when you get down to 5 cards or less, then you combo with these. Those become 10ks. It becomes pretty difficult to deal with. Now the secret rare, it's gonna be Razilu. So this secret rare has not gotten much play from anywhere outside like the Supreme Kai deck, and I think going forward this may be. I know Supreme Kai is really good, but this may be the best black secret rare, and I just don't think anyone's trying to play it. Mainly because blue's so prominent, you pay 2 for this, it gets bounced back. But here's the thing, so blue matchups, obviously we're going to try to take down their Unison. So this card here, it's a Overwhelm 8, 2 energy. You can play it past turn 4, right? Yep, so you play it past turn 4. So we're probably going to get to turn 4 in this meta, turn 4, turn 5. You play her, then you play 2 Overwhelm with different names, 6 cost or less from your drop area. From your warp, with Dark Overwhelm or Overwhelm. So, ideal targets, you have your Fighting Against Fates, and you have your Demigra. So you don't get the Overwhelm effect from Demigra, the on-play effect, but you do get his attack effect. So every time he attacks, they warp a card. This guy with being played as well, he has dual attack. So you have a 40k double strike that you play out for 2, plus a 30k that warps a card from their hand, and a 25k dual attack for 2 energy. It's pretty good. It's not all though. So the other effect is you can pitch a card that has Overwhelm keyword skill on it, and you can engage an attack. I don't believe it is also once per turn. Yep. So you can also warp these as well. Warp with the drop area. That's what I thought. Yeah, warp wouldn't make too much sense. You can send one of these to the drop area on your opponent's turn and negate an attack. Pretty good. I think you can choose. I think you should also be able to choose her as well because she does have Overwhelm. So, or no, it's Overwhelm skill, right? Yeah, so it has to be Overwhelm skill, not her. So she has Dark Overwhelm. But you can choose these 2. You can choose this guy. Also can choose Trunks if you have him on board. But this just allows you to have extra negates for that turn if you absolutely need them. But I do think Razilu is a really good secret rare just because of that effect. I mean, you essentially can just Overwhelm out, and now you have this huge body on board that creates, 5 attacks? 1, 2, 3, 4, plus your leader, plus whatever else. So it is a lot of damage. So in the Gohan deck, the idea is that you combo draw cards. That's the idea of the deck. That's kind of what this deck does too. You said you're going to play out. Essentially every card in this deck draws you a card in a way, whether it's an on-play effect, whether it's a combo effect, whether it's an auto effect like this, because your leader combos with all of these battle cards, and if they have no battle cards in the drop, every card in this deck, excluding unisons and extra cards, become pseudo super combos. So you're able to just draw off of everything. That feels really good. In aggro matchups, I will gladly let them take me down the 4, because every turn they attack, I'm just going to combo with one of my little guys, draw an extra card, and then take the life. And my hand's going to be sitting at 15, 16 cards at 4 life, and we're not going to lose at that point. I'm just going to stall them out until I get to maybe turn 3, turn 4, and then we're just going to go off. As soon as I get one of these Demigras down, if you get a Demigra down in an aggro matchup, it's basically game. You're going to warp whatever their big card is on board, and then swing with this at the other one, and then make them warp a card. You lose 3 cards, 2 on board, 1 on hand, and now what are they going to do? You have negates, you have all your combo power, you have your leader effect to be able to put these into play to slow them down even more. You have your Deborahs. Like, there's so much things that you can do in the deck, and I think the deck is pretty optimal. Like I said, the biggest changes obviously is going to be running 4, I would say 3 or 4 of the Majin Buu for draw power. Just because this, you want to fill up the one problem I found, it's not really a problem, it's just you need to fill up your drop area very, very soon. So running more of these and maybe another Majin Buu Human Extinction attack, and then mulliganing for this card. Because if you open this and your Demigra, like turn 2, you can, like turn 1, you can use this, mill the appropriate amount of cards to be able to play this out next turn. So you use this during your defensive step, you use this during your offensive turn, and then you play this out for 2, make them warp, 2 cards, and you should be at Awakening then, and now you can restand 1, now you have an energy up for defense. It gets really, really disgusting. Again, 4 Demigras, for sure, they get cards like $5 now, so everyone should have a full playset of these. I just didn't get mine in time, so, but this is definitely a must at 4. If you have more Broken Seals, you can run 4 Broken Seals. The problem is that you can only play them, you're probably only going to resolve 2 of these a game, because you can't play it the next turn after you play this, because that would be impossibly disgusting. But so 2 is fine, I think, but if you wanted to run like a 3rd one, you could, just so you made sure that you saw one, because as long as they don't have any battle cards in the drop, you can play this card out whenever you want to. As long as you know it's in your deck, you're going to be able to play it out. So, and then Oceanus. Oceanus would be the other one, probably 2 of, at the minimum, possibly 3. Probably sideboard the other one or 2, just so you have them, because having a Floodgate in this meta is pretty important. Unless you're playing against blue, then you're probably never going to play this card because it's just going to get God Sealing, and that's not feeling really good. So there's also the 5-drop that you can play. I don't know if I have it over here directly, else I would show you guys. The 5-drop, oh yeah, I do. The Deluge of Darkness, this guy. So you can play him too as kind of as a finisher. You play him on 5, and for every 10 cards in your opponent's warp, they have to warp one life. And he has 25k double strike whenever he swings. So this card could just end you games too. But we're trying to end the game turn 4, realistically. So this card may never come into effect. But it could also be just a sideboard card, because the blue can't do anything with this card either. So, but that is the deck. Like I said, 51 cards, I believe. We will probably go up to 53. At the minimum, I may take this guy out for the extra Majin Buu, add these 2, so that should put us at 53. The Unison is the only spot that's kind of weird. You don't essentially need a Unison in this deck, but this and Smoke are definitely the 2 better ones. Toa, unfortunately, doesn't provide enough value because you're just pitching cards from your hand, and that necessarily isn't the greatest. That's definitely better than Mention Deborah, but Smoke Dragon is very good. This one I think is just a little bit better because it can attack, and can attack opponents on their Awakened side by being able to the combo battle card, and then this card gets 5k. So there's some pretty cool things. So hopefully you guys like the deck. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Any sort of feedback is always appreciated. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.